Welcome to You Can't Handle the Truth, where we dive into the real raw truth about health, wellness, and self-growth. I am your Real Talk guru and your rebel healer, here to cut through the noise and dig deep into mental, physical, and spiritual health, uncovering the truths that many aren't ready to confront. And we're doing that together to step into our true, authentic selves. Welcome to You Can't Handle the Truth. My name is Natalie, and we're going to get right into today's episode. And today, we're dating younger men. Yes, we are. We're in our 40s and 50s, and we are dating younger men. Okay, so my rebelette says, I'm 52 and dating a young guy. I'm 52 and dating a guy who's 34. For the most part, we get along great. I'm happier than I was in my 26-year marriage. It's only been a year, and I'm curious if anyone else is dating someone younger and what kind of issues you might be experiencing. Wow. First of all, I want to say, are any of you dating anyone that's younger than you? You know, that where you have that kind of age gap as a woman? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. Let me know how it's going out and what kind of issues you might be having. But now we're gonna see what some of these ladies have to say. I've never myself, but I have friends that have dated younger men, and you know, sometimes they say it's like having it can be like having a child, you know, but I would imagine, I mean, I'm 54 and my oldest is 32. So I can't personally, for me, maybe because I have boys that are that age. I don't know if it makes a difference when you have boys. You tell me if you have young men that are in their 30s, would that be more difficult to date a young man in their 30s? As opposed to if you have girls, right? I don't have a true opinion about it one way or the other for someone else, but for me, I would have to say I wouldn't, because that would be my kids' age, and I just look at my kids as kids. But you know, the thing is that also sometimes you find somebody that you fall in love with, and it's not about, you know, sometimes maybe you don't see the age, but I think age differences come up. And I'm just going to say this one thing. Between my husband and I'm younger. He's 7 years older. And I can say that where we started to really see the difference is, so I'm 54 and he's 61. Where we really started to see the difference is, you know, he kind of started to slow down. He didn't want to do as many things. He didn't, you know, his outlook and the way that he sees life. He's already looking at retirement. And I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm not done yet. And so we have to make plans that accommodate both of us, right? This is where it becomes a challenge, because we're married. I love him, and we have to do what works for both of us, right? And sometimes that's not easy. And those are some things that when there's an age gap that maybe we don't think about. But I'm going to read some of these comments. We'll see what some of my my goodness, I can't talk. Is Mercury still in retrograde? But anyway, I'm going to see what some of my fellow rebelettes have answer to this, because I'm really curious. So someone says, I did when I was in my early 40s, and perimenopause hit and my libido tanked. I think it's coming back now. I'm 51, but I'm no longer interested in hosting. And these young guys are broke. So needless to say, I am not dating anyone. My home is not a date destination. I expect actual dates at fun places to forget it. Exactly. So she doesn't want some guy that's coming to her house And just what some young guy that's broke doesn't have any money to take her out to come to her house and hang out at her house and not take her out on a date. She's trying to get away from her house at 51 and do that thing. That was a response that someone had. The response she got from the person who asked the question is, that's what I'm wondering. I don't want to be paying for everything. Look, there are plenty of 30-some-year-olds out there probably that make money, right? That have money. I don't know. I guess if you want to date someone younger, you're going to have to vet. And just like you would for anyone else, right? Anyone else that you're dating, you're going to vet to see if they fit your mold, fit what you're looking for. What are you looking for in a man? What are you looking for from a man? Do they fit the description of what you're looking for? Maybe, ladies, it's time we start writing those things down. What is it that you're looking for? Literally write them down on paper. And it doesn't matter how old they are. I mean, if you're just looking for the boom boom, and you can get that from a 34-year-old, I'm sure their libido's up there. And that's all you're looking for, I'm sure you're going to get that. But if you're looking for actual relationship that you can hang on to, is that person able to provide you those things? And so I think that's key, right? Like sometimes we get caught up in I'm sure it might make some women feel sexy that, oh my gosh, I can date like somebody that's younger than me, right? That seems kind of hot, right? Like that some younger guy would be attracted, but that younger guy being attracted doesn't mean that that younger guy can take care of you, that he knows what you're looking for. And those are conversations that you have initially when you start dating on the first date, before you even maybe sleep with the person, before you even get that far, And especially as women, we tend to get emotionally attached once we sleep with someone. So I think that that's really important to have those conversations. Anyway, just my thoughts. Especially if you're gonna hit it with a 30-some-year-old. You want to know what he's doing. Come get me. Are we going on a date? Can we go out together? I mean, because who knows? Maybe this young kid is just looking for a sugar mama. Do you want to be a sugar mama? Maybe some of you want to be that's what you want to do and you don't mind. I mean, that's your right, right? That is your right. But just know and understand what you're getting into, I think, is what this lady was saying too. I guess some guy responded to this and they removed the comment to the thread. I don't know why they removed it. It would just be interesting, although it's a woman's thread, I know why they removed it, but it would just be interesting to see from a male's perspective what he had to say about this. But comment's gone. Too late. I have a lot of younger guys hitting on me these days at 55. Is this a new thing? Like I said, there are guys out there looking for sugar mamas. They know that you're 50 something, like you got money, you probably look good. Actually, good enough that he's willing to date you, but he's not looking to take care of you. He's looking for you to take care of him. Anyway, she says, I can't be anyone's sugar. Look, what did I just say? She literally says, I can't be anyone's sugar mama. I wouldn't turn away a young man who needed a little guidance. But I wouldn't turn away a young man who needed a little guidance. Look, if you have a young man that comes to you and you're just looking to give him a little guidance, you don't got to be his sugar mama, or you don't have to sleep with him to do that. Just give him guidance. And tell him, give him guidance that maybe you're not the one. I don't know. Like someone else says, it seems to be a thing. Younger men are always hitting on me too. All right, ladies, based on these comments, I don't know what this guy said, that he got kicked out of the group earlier. But what I can tell you is that it looks like you're not just hot because you look hot. You're hot because you have the finances. You're able to take care of him. And that's what they're looking for. Because why is it all of a sudden that when you're 50, that's when the 30-year-olds want to hit on you? Now, I'm not saying that's the case for all relationships. Some relationships, there may be really an attraction and he may not even realize that you're 50, right? Like, because you might look younger. So the person may have hit on you and not even realize. And the thing is that in your 50s, in your late 40s and 50s, maybe you are looking better than you were in your 30s because now you're really starting to take care of yourself. You've stopped doing all the things that you used to do for everyone else and you focus on yourself, and that is outwardly showing, right? So now they're hitting on you, but don't take all that work that you did and throw it away to just to be a sugar mama. That's all I have to say. And again, I'm not saying that everybody who dates someone younger is a sugar mama, and that's the case, because there are very many other cases out there. But it just seems that this woman is concerned that she's being taken advantage of, and she's not getting out of it what she wanted. She might be getting the great sex might be there, but how about the rest of the stuff? Because when the sex dies out, like, there's a relationship to be had. There's mutual understanding. There's things that we're going to do together, planning our lives together, right? Like, so how does that work when you have someone younger than you? How do you manage that? And if any of you out there have done it and it has worked out great for you, I'd love to hear it, because I'm sure there's many other women out there who have the same question. Okay, so this one says, 43-year-old female. They know we are experienced, mature, and not wanting kids. I dated someone 7 years younger than me, and I was 40, and I just couldn't keep doing it. He was immature, though. He was like a little boy for sex. Now I'm with a guy who is 49 and in great health with great stamina, if you know what I mean. And it's not so much more tolerable. I think the younger ones sometimes like the mother figure. So we just need to be aware of that. Like, I think as ladies, we just need to be aware of that. Like, are you getting somebody that's looking for a mother figure? They just want you to cook for them. They want to feel that nurturing touch that you have as a woman at that age, and you're exuding confidence. You have money. Like, again, you're at 55, you're probably sitting okay, right? I think this woman was 55. Your 40s and 50s, you're probably getting pretty comfortable, pretty stable in your life. And maybe they're not. Someone says, I spent 3 years in a relationship with a man, 19 years my junior. We ended up splitting, but not related to age. If you're happy, then to hell with the rest. Exactly. So here you go. Like, they split up for other reasons, but, they split up, they spent 3 years together, and, if you're happy together, if you're really happy together and you can meet each other's needs, and you weren't looking to be a sugar mama, and you're not feeling like that's what you're doing, like, you're not feeling like you're put in that position, like that this person is just wanting you to take care of them and that they're doing their part, then I think if it works for you, it works for you. Why not? Like, to hell with what everybody else thinks. On average, a man's life expectancy is less than a woman's. So based on that alone, the ideal hetero relationship would be a bit older woman and a younger man. While life doesn't always go according to statistics, there is nothing wrong with two consenting adults being in a relationship. And in your case, it sounds like you're able to relate to each other. Exactly. If you're able to relate to each other, like I just said, yes, I agree. Someone says, I'm 60, he is 35, together for 7 years. Never been happier. Granted, I don't look or act my age, and he looks older than his age, is very mature, so that helps. Like I said, every situation's going to be different. It's not going to be the same, right? So you need to look at yourself, understand what you need, understand where you are, and look at them, ask enough questions that you understand where they are, and if they can meet you, if you can meet them where they are and they can meet you where you are. And if you're happy, then to hell with everybody else. And then someone says, recently was chased by a 40-year-old. I'm 66 but look great for my age and very fit. It was flattering and lots of fun while it was happening. Sex was great, but I found out why he was single. No communication skills, but he was good for me and made me realize I can do what I want. I'd never thought about dating younger guys, but now I'm all for it. There you go. So, you know what? He fit what she needed. She's like, yeah, no, communication skills aren't great, but she learned something about herself from having the experience, right? And now she thinks, no, she never thought about it before, but now she's like, hey, like, why not? But I'm sure with not having the communication skills, maybe she'll do as I recommended at the beginning, is to make sure you're asking all the pertinent questions. It doesn't matter how old the guy is. You're in your 50s, 40s or 50s, you don't have a lot of time to play around, right? You want to have a list. I mean, literally write down a list of what you're looking for in someone else, right? And when you write down that list, make sure that what you're looking for in someone else, that you're also giving it to yourself, that you're also capable of giving that to yourself. Because it's not, when we go into relationships, sometimes we're looking for something but we're missing something in our lives and we want somebody else to fulfill that. But when you can give it to yourself and then you're like, okay, this is what I like. I want somebody who's in shape. So you can't say like, I want somebody who's in shape and muscular and you're out of shape. What do you think? Like that? No, like you got to be in shape so you can attract somebody who's in shape or muscular. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that if you don't have some of those things, don't put it on the list, but look to see how once you put it on the list and you know that's what you want, you're like, hey, what do I need to do to match that energy of what I'm looking for? That's a whole other conversation. But once you do that, then you actually have a list in your mind of when you're talking to somebody, what it is that you're looking for and where the deal breaker is for that with that person. If that person does not meet this criteria, that criteria, then you know what, like that it's not for you. Like that, it's not, you're not even attempting to have a relationship or even jump in the sack with somebody like that, right? And it doesn't matter what age they are. And then you can make that decision up front and then make sure that you are a match. I'd love to see a picture. I'm pushing 60 and have a condition that seems to make folks perceive me as much younger. And now that I'm invisible at 58, I look 48, dress like 28, but as far as men go, I am extremely invisible. I believe in kind. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm lost. Like, why is she invisible? I don't get what she's saying. Anyway, so you guys get the point. I'm 55 and my spouse is 43. We met when I was 46 and he was 34 and got married when I was 49. He didn't even know I was older, even though I told him, because up until 46, I was still getting carded regularly. I guess it was my relationship that aged me. Haha, we are very happy together. Exactly. I mean, just because you're older than the person, sometimes that you look younger, and you don't even think about it, right? Like here, this lady she was 55, but still getting carded when she goes to the bar. So him being 43, it never even clicked to him that she might be older. But I still think it's important to talk about things like retirement and things like that, because at some point it will become relevant. 43, 55, you're not there yet. But when she's 60, 62 and he's 52 himself, he's not going to be close to retirement and she will be, right? And so that gap there, and what is it that she wants to do? Maybe at 62, she's going to want to travel the world. And maybe he can do that. Maybe he has the funds. Maybe he's a businessman. I don't know the circumstances. But these are all things that we need to think about as women when we're dating younger, right? Because that person, is that person going to be able to match our energy when we get to retirement age? The things that we want to do, the traveling that we plan to do when we retire, things like that. Food for thought, just food for thought. Wow, they just kick men out. They kick men out of this. They every time a man comments, the comment gets deleted. I guess they don't allow men in this forum to respond to women's questions because it's supposed to be for women. That makes sense. I just would like to know. I would like to know what they're thinking. Anyhow, if any of this makes sense to you, let me know. I have a newsletter that I created for you ladies, and you can claim a copy of it. It's free. December's newsletter is out. It's my inaugural edition. Drop me a comment and also let me know what you can send me an email or put it in the comments. Let me know what you would like to see in the newsletter. I'll be putting things about financial health, mental health, physical health, and just about anything else that you would like to hear me talk about. There'll be some fun stuff, and there'll be like resources, about financial health. And like I just shared in the last podcast. I just shared about financial, things about financial health. And, these are things that are really important that we start to look at this age, at this time and point in our lives. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you for joining me on You Can't Handle the Truth. And until next time, I am sending you peace and love.